Hello and welcome to Qdabra's weekly webinar. This is Patrick Halstead, and I'm the lead project manager here at Qdabra. Today we're talking about a new technique that we've developed to show charts in your forms. And one of the nice things about FormsViewer and Qdabra Forms in general is the ability to extend them with CSS. This is not something that you can do, for example, with Power Apps. And I'm very happy to announce that Qdabra Okamura is going to be presenting to us today. Qdabra, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sure. Thank you.
Qdabra needs no introduction. She is has an esteemed career here at Qdabra. She's been here about 12 years. Before that, she worked at Microsoft for about 12 years. And before that, she worked at IBM as a researcher in Tokyo for about 12 years as well. And she graduated from Kyushu University, which is one of the top universities in Japan, with a master's degree in mathematics. Qdabra.
Yep, great. Thank you very much. So today we are going to introduce how to show chart and FormsViewer. So in fact, this covered several topics. As Patrick mentioned, FormsViewer has an ability to utilize CSS as well as JavaScript. So with a tiny tricks, we can transfer a chart into a table into chart. And also we have bonus demo today on a pie chart. So maybe it's easier to see it. So this is our form, and so this is FormsViewer. Now you can see bar chart, horizontal one, and also vertical version. And I wonder, what do you feel about the back end of this one? In fact, they are. So this is the Infopulse designer. They are just repeating table. The repeating table is shown as table. And let's take a look at a little bit more. So this is backend table. We have 3 columns. One is the month. This example is the monthly precipitation in Seattle. So if I change January 2021 or something, yes, this control the level. And this one, this is average precipitation. If I add something, this control that level on the bar chart, and the width is the actual one which define that graph height. So this is currently 90%, but if I can say 50% or something, yep, this will show something like that. And also, this is just, CSS width or height property. So you can define something like 150 px or just 5 rem or something like that. So,
What is rem?
Rem is the width of M.
What is M?
Because M is the square font. The only square more.
I don't think anybody. I did not know
Okay.
that. I learned something new
Sorry,
already.
this is CSS trick, and we can define the width using the length of characters.
Very cool. And this is all dynamic. I guess the first question I have is, how did you get that control to show on top?
Yeah, control. Well, in fact, this is really straightforward, and it's a great segue to move forward. So let me show some back how to do that. So we are going to prepare several things. This is the modification in a form. So what we are going to have is, as I mentioned, this is label, this is a number on the chart, this is width. And also we need to specify the class, and which is by entering screen tip as the my chart bar or something, and use our swap technique to change screen tip into class.
technique. Is that a technique that we've webinared before?
Yes, last year. This is really basic, and now we use a lot, especially if you use the CSS. Because when you set your CSS, you'd like to know the target div or target DOM. Then we can use class name easily. Then we can specify, for example, make this table, blah, blah, or make this button with specific CSS or color or so on. So this is a really great technique.
So the div and the DOM are references to HTML or XML.
Right, in HTML, CSS need to write based on class name or some property name.
And then they have to have the CSS file too, right?
Definitely. So great. Now I'm going to move the CSS. So using this one, that's the one we specify the class, like my chart bar. And in case of a table is my chart bar table, do not display the header, or we apply some flex box technique on the row and set something right with and so on and so on. So this is, you don't have to understand everything. This is how we set up the CSS.
But it's dynamic, right? You can have multiple rows. That's not a problem,
Sure,
right?
of course, this is repeating table, basically. And also we are going to show the SharePoint list version after this. And also, we need a tiny, tiny JavaScript. In fact, what we are going to do is take this one and calculate the width. Because to do that, we are going to calculate the maximum number of this column and calculate the width based on that. So that's the one I need to write in the JavaScript. Okay. And yep. So that's the one I just explained on calculating width. So let's go to the demonstration part. So I wonder if this is a demo begin. This is the one I show it. And now I am going to add new table here. And I'd say I prepare the annual sunshine, which means a clear day of various city in United States. So what I am going to do is first I'm going to add data connection, SharePoint list, and I'm going to copy the site. And annual sunshine, title clear days. I need extra widths, and the order should be clear days descending. I'd like to have. Okay. Then I am going to add annual. Table here. I do not need ID. And I'm going to delete this column. And the first thing I would do is this is repeating table. And on the advanced one, I'm going to set this class as my chart bar. And also, this needs to be calculated field instead of input box, which is much easier to specify, define the one. So now I have this one, but next to this one, let me go to the rule, and I am going to add the width calculation after that. So in this one, CSS and JavaScript is already embedded. So in the form logic action, this is the action when a form is loaded. And I've already prepared the max calculation for existing one. So I'm going to add new calculation. And which is, I'm going to set the width, annual one, with specific number like a -1. And which means that this kicks the row on here. So if width is not equal to -1, do nothing. But if not, what I am going to do this is first I'm going to copy the XPath of clean days. And then here, all right.
Did you say clean days or clear days?
Sorry, clear days. Sorry, thank you. And all right, for here, I am going to set, okay, width. Every time this appears.
We do have the designer up and running, and we look forward to providing these demos in a Forms Designer in the future.
Yes.
For those of you who are watching, we
got.
And while Qdabra is doing this, I just want to update everyone who's listening in here that we shipped the Forms Designer beta, and of course you can download that and start using it. We've done a number of webinars. We're going to be doing training on that next week. We'll have a couple labs on that starting next Tuesday. And then we're doing this sprint. So we have these 2-week sprints for the designer. So we're actually practicing this called rapid cycle development to add even more features. So we hope to be have the beta in a 1.0 status, which means all major features implemented sometime in the next couple of months. Qdabra?
Okay, so great. I just finished the calculation, which means that clear day divided by max of clear day multiplied 100 and concatenate this with percent. I hope this works. So I think that's it. So I'm going to save this as not new demo.
Also noticed that one of our customers just joined that has inspired us to do these charts through another project. I want to welcome Peter. I know you just joined, Peter. We've started, Qdabra's been demoing how to add these charts to your forms, and she's just going to show from scratch here. She's added a link to connect to
I hope this works.
SharePoint.
Oh no, maybe I forgot something. In that case, I'm going to check this. Calculations worked well, but not something. Okay, so maybe. Oh, I entered dot my chart.
You did that on purpose, Qdabra, to prove it was a demo.
Yeah. Sorry. So I just copy and paste from somewhere. So here is, yeah, there's that. My bad. All right. So it's live.
Sorry, I didn't catch you earlier.
All right, then let's try and hope this time it works well. And refresh. Well, yeah. So now we have great example. Sometimes we have to adjust CSS a little bit, depends on the chat as you used to do. So in this one, I'm going to open the back one, and the issue is the width of this one. And you can see this width is controlled by a character chart label. So I put most of the variable that you may need to update as not variable like that, so that you can easily, Boston, we need more, 150? Yeah. Now, because we need more space for label. So that's
I think, is it really that bad in Seattle? Is it really that?
Yes, I was surprised. And so I think this is time to move to the pie chart. Yep. So in case of pie chart, we just finished this one. The difference is in the case of bar chart, we can just modify a little bit using existing HTML elements. But for this one, wow, how can we do that? Not just repeating table cannot do that. So what we do is add SVG element here. So if in case you are interested in, okay, not open yet. Okay, swap here is. So we are going to create. So this is my chart. Just for your information, this is about bar chart. We are going to.
They can, users can just copy this from our webinar download package, right?
Yes, you can use this swap class as almost as is. And if you are interested in, so this is the source. So we are going to have this SVG for each circle. We have this one.
What does SVG stand for?
It's SVG is a vector form that you can draw.
Oh, it's a vector graph. Okay,
Yeah,
got
vector
it.
graph.
And how does that get loaded in the form? That's just load resource, right? That's the command
That's
we're using.
that's resource. It's JavaScript, and this is added as an event added event listener after render. So we added these two functions.
And you just load the resource with Q roles, right?
That's it. That's it.
Yep.
So it's really easy. So just for example, this is not a pie chart of.
I like how the colors represent the colors of the apple.
Right, I tried, but you may need to adjust.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, depends on.
Look up the RGB values for apple colors.
Yes, it's apple colors. So you're gonna see, well, where is the apple colors? Yeah, variation is defined for apple like this.
Is there like a style sheet for Washington State apple colors?
No style sheet, but I found apple color palette and just modify a little bit so that Granny Smith became green.
Wow, that's amazing. I think Golden Delicious though is more yellow. I don't think
I know. It's not perfect, but this is I picked 5 colors and this repeat for 5 colors in the chart color like this. So that's a demonstration.
That's beautiful. Any questions for Gabra and me? We're going to try to end this up in about 5 minutes. We've got another meeting right after this, but any questions? Obviously, you're going to get the slides and the package, and looks like we don't have any questions. This is not Power BI.
This is not Power BI. Yeah.
That's a great question. You knew that though, Peter, when you asked that. Because so the benefit of using charts, why not use Power BI? So that's a good question. And the reason is, I think, well, Power BI is awesome. We love Power BI. We do Power BI all day long. But in this case, if you're trying to restrict the data, so for example, you want to filter the data based on the logged in user or based on something else like the department, you cannot pass a parameter to Power BI. You could go into Power BI and change it manually to filter it, but you can't pass a parameter on load based on the user, for example.
Unless you have the premium price.
Yeah, premium. Okay, so premium does it, but premium costs. What does premium cost, Scott? Is it $40 per person per month or something like that?
Well, a lot. They have a kind of company one version or a batch version or for each
I see.
person, $9 each person, which means that each
But
reader.
every person needs to have it, right?
Yes, that's right. And,
That's
and
scan.
also Power BI cannot enter data.
Correct. Yeah. So in this case, you can enter, as you're entering the data in the form, you see a nice visual. So that's the reason why we want to add these charts to the form, because we have a lot of dashboards, and the dashboards, we are able to color the rows in the dashboard to show you what's overdue. But this is a nice addition because then you can quickly see at a glance. I think we'll be incorporating this into a lot of our dashboard demos in the future. Obviously, this is not a dashboard demo, but so let's go to the next slide. I don't think we have any other questions. I want to thank you all for joining, and just quickly put one sort of, what's the right word here? I want to do a little advertisement here again for Qdabra Forms. This slide needs to be updated to say Qdabra Forms. We really are happy to announce that Forms Designer, the missing piece of Qdabra Forms, shipped the beta last month, the end of last month, and we now have that available for download. We are, like I said earlier, we're going to be updating it every 2 weeks or every month, I think. We've got these sprints over the summer to get to the 1.0 status. The beta includes the ability to edit the canvas and to do a lot of other cool stuff. You can add a dynamic data connection XTP. You can change the properties of controls. You can add rules and edit them. But there's a few missing features. Data connections is one of them, and we're going to be implementing that. We have the old designer features that are shipping that include the data connection add, but we're going to be integrating it with the new Forms Designer in the next month or so. And when we get to that point, the features are all completed. The major features, we're going to call it 1.0, and our goal for that is sometime in July or August to have the 1.0 out. But we want people to start using it today, so that's why we called it Forms Designer Beta. And as you know, FormsViewer, Qdabra Forms, is the only package out there today that allows you to migrate your existing InfoPath investment with minimal effort, and that means just uploading your forms without changing them. And that allows you to continue to reuse all of the existing data, the training, and we're trying to make Forms Designer look very similar to InfoPath Designer, but of course it's a browser-based technology. With FormsViewer, as you saw today, you can add things like CSS and JavaScript to your forms. A lot of potential there for extensions, stuff that you cannot do in Power Apps today. The other big benefit over Power Apps is the ability to quickly add repeating tables without having to hassle with collections and things like that. Now, obviously, Power Apps is a great technology too, and we love working with Power Apps for new solutions that are not document-centric, that don't require these kinds of features that Forms excel at. Okay, well, any other questions for us? If not, we wish you a happy Earth Day. The Earth has a lot of biomass on it, about 5 billion tons or something like that, more than that probably. Humans make up just 0.1% of it. So just want to put you in your place there at the end. The humans are not that important, but Earth is for the biomass of the DNA.
Okay.
Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.
Sorry to ramble on. Thanks, Callie. Wonderful job. Beautiful.
Thank you, Peter.